somewhere. Found it. So again, welcome everybody to this, we can call it Football for the Goals Virtual Forum or the Inter-County Football for the Goals Championship 2025 Information Session. My name is Peter. I happen to sit as the CEO of Global Youth Forum. And on this one, a bit of a background right there, I was the coordinator for the Football for the Goals inaugural tournament in Kenya, which we aim to build on. We started several years ago, and I'm glad to see Kathy in the house. Kathy is a strong supporter for Football for Peace that has built us to get to the Football for the Goals stage. And I see members joining us from across the globe, so I sit as a real champion for football to drive impact and change in the society. So briefly, just like for us to interact and network properly, we would love to hear a little bit more from you guys, like let's say, just spend, say, the next 5 minutes just to get to know each other, what inspired you to be here, and probably what you are looking forward to. And then I'll give you a quick brief, and then we can dive more into it. So I'm starting with Isaac. Isaac, you tell us where you are from, what you are excited about, and anything you are looking forward to. Over to you, Isaac. Unmute, Isaac, if you like.
Yes, it is evening. Good evening once more. So this is Isaac from Nairobi County. I've joined this meeting as a member of Amani Kibera.
Did we just miss Isaac? I think there we lost Isaac. Let me bring Brizan.
So
do you want to dive right in? Wait. Yes. Isaac, we lost you there, so we'll come back to you shortly. Wait. Brizan, go for it.
Thank you so much. As I mentioned before, my name is Brizan Were. I'm calling in from Turkana County. And for the interest of this call, I'm also part of a football revolution in Turkana. I am the vice chairperson of FKF Turkana, that's the Football Federation Kenya. And I also support and lead a football club that is called Titans FC, a club that brings together young people from this region, well-talented, and also a club that has, over the time, included refugees from the Kakuma refugee camp into us. And our biggest goal is how can we use sports for integration, bringing in refugees, one in different countries, and playing with them together so that we can also not let such talents get lost. And really in this conversation, I really interested why is because I really want to, among the SDGs of integration and peaceful coexistences and bringing people from diverse backgrounds, refugees, marginalized communities, young people, women, and that is something that really inspires me about tournament, and we really look forward to future updates about this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brizan, for finding time to join us all the way from Turkana. So I'm sure that all these counties are now included. Well done. Let me bring back Isaac. So for this top secret here is you just have your camera on, and then I'll bring you on to talk to us. Isaac, I'm back to you again before I go to Godwin.
Yes. So I'm Isaac Uwer. I come here to represent Amani Kibera. It's a CBO organization, Nairobi, Kibera. So my main objective to be here as a member of football, as someone who has championed for the...
Isaac, you can turn your camera off because we are struggling to hear you. I think that is your internet so low, I think. Let me bring Godwin. Godwin, dive right in.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. I hope everyone can get me. As he has called me, I am Godwin Ochieng War, and I'm passionate about SDG number 2, that is zero hunger. And I'm very happy that people, our likes of Isaac, are in this platform. It happens that we come from the same area code. I come from Kibera, so Isaac, I should be linking with you soon. And I am here because of football and because of the Sustainable Development Goals. As I've said, that I'm passionate about SDG2, and wherever you call me or you invite me to a meeting about the Sustainable Development Goals, I will not hesitate to come in. Be it matters football, be it matters talking, that's ordinary voices, and etc. So for today, let me just say that I am very humbled and thankful because I will have the opportunity to showcase what the ghetto child can do, or the talents that are there at the grassroots level. And in this meeting, I think that those of our likes will have the opportunity to play with, let's say, international platform, because SDGs are not for Kenya only; they are for international. They're for the world. So people like Isaac and I will have the opportunity to make the rest of us participate in one or the other using their talent, so that we can create awareness and find a solution through football, because it's a game that teaches us morality and self-discipline, teamwork, and you can't score the goals alone and coach the team alone. You need the other guy to chip in with some managerial skills, the players to show their talents and create awareness. You need also the fans to cheer you up, because minus the fans, like we had back in 2020 during Corona, we watched football games without fans, and it was not that happy to watch like we used to watch with fans. So today I'm so thankful because we will have the opportunity to show that SDGs are being pushed in every angle, in every way we can. So I say thank you for likes of Peter and the Global Youth Forum for creating such a platform. So thank you, and I'm so humbled to be here. We can win, as I always say, we can win.
All right, there we go. Thank you, Godwin. Kathy, I'm bringing you on just to say hello and greet us from Kilifi.
Okay, Peter, you always put me on the spot, but I mean, this is the way we met, right? So we met many years ago, a decade actually, right now.
Yeah.
In the Young African Leadership Forum. I also am the mother of a girl who loves football.
Yeah.
And because she is female, she cannot participate the way she would like. So my interest in being here is twofold. One is to just leverage, how do we make football bring forward the great talent we have across Kenya, and particularly under 30. I know, Peter, that ages us out, but I still believe that that's where the emphasis needs to be. And I know that if people are truthful and compassionate and deliver, we can all change the mindset of the people who are looking for the 40-year-olds to do the work. I work mostly as a consultant, but from time to time, I'm able to bring in other partners, and Peter knows this. I always come back to what I know. Secondly, as a mother of a girl who plays football and cannot play the way she wants to, it speaks to even what the guys were talking about from Turkana, right? Like, how do we just ensure that anyone who's good just shows up and is judged on their own merit? And then we figure out how to bring them forward. So I'm excited that this is a cross-country initiative. It's not based in Nairobi. That's extremely happy for me. I know Peter's not based in Nairobi. I'm not based in Nairobi. And I just really want us to showcase what can be done, and done with impact, right? Like critical impact. And so that's my interest here. Peter, back to you. Too much.
All right.
Boxing, apologies.
Oh, right. There we go. So touching on real impact. We just don't want to come and touch and then go, touch and then go. We are looking for solid impact. And Kathy, just like to add on, Kathy has been my supporter, and we've done a lot of things together. So a bit about this particular program today. Let me see if I can find my presentation before we get deeper into it. But here is what we have, and we are just getting started properly. So a bit about the session introduction. I would say people will always say that there is nothing like overnight success. So for us to get to the stage of the football for the goals, we've been in this space for, say, now 10 years. And it has not been easy convincing people, pulling people together to buy in and just to get us to what we want to achieve has not been easy. So our first tournament was conducted way back in 2015. And then we partnered with University of Nairobi in 2016. And along the way, we've conducted 15 tournaments across 4 counties, engaging 148 football teams. And that's how we ended up hosting the Football for the Goals inaugural tournament in Kenya. In a county where I was born, I discovered my football and it was just fun. So it was not just a waking up and then you are just given the platform or the opportunity. We worked really, really hard to get it there. But I know what is coming up. It was an engagement segment where, like, now we pause again for another 5 minutes or even just 3 minutes. And I will stop sharing the screen because I don't want to show you what is on there. But I want to ask this simple question. Kenya or around the globe, we have over, like, say, 5 billion people either involved in football in one way or another. But let us narrow down to Kenya. If you look at Kenya, do you think that Football Federation or those in charge of football are doing what they are supposed to do to bring the talent, like the talents that we have, to the limelight? So to respond to this, we just take 30 seconds each if you are given the mic. So do you think we are doing so well in football? Yes or no? If no, why? And what can we do to bring that or change that situation? I will start with Brizan. Brizan, that is for you. So you start us off on that one and you tell us how life is in Turkana. Go for it.
Thank you so much. And I really like your question. And one of the things that really inspires me, even being an official in FKF, and one of the reasons why I vied for a position in FKF is to change football. I want to agree with you that Kenyan football is kind of centralized and urbanized and does not really have an impact in the rural communities. And I'm very happy that this one you are really targeting counties, mainly counties also out of the city. And that is something that is very important and something that I'm really, really encouraged and being part of this. I think for your answer, I will say Kenya Football Federation is not doing much to really get us to where we expect to be. And it's such opportunities that targets rural football and initiatives that will really give us some results. Thank you. And sorry for taking more than 30 seconds.
No problem. That's okay. Let me bring Rose. Rose, I'm bringing you onto light here. So you got to share. I don't know if you play football, but I'm just curious because you are lady in the house and we don't want to leave ladies behind. So Rose, tell us your experience and tell us anything you like.
First thing first is I'm not a footballer. I don't know how to play football, but I love football. I'm a season cheering squad. One thing I would say about football in Kenya, we are still behind in most of the things in terms of even support for the people. There's so many people who have talent, but they don't get support that they need for them to go way up. Yeah, that's 30 seconds.
All right. I know Susan is joining this call. Susan, I'm bringing you on. I know we met during the Football for the Goals tournament. So I'm adding you on to share your story and just like dive right in and tell us what is it a yes or a no? Talk to us, Susan.
Hi, good evening again. My name is Susan from Nairobi, and I would say yes, and also I would say no. Let me just put it in general. Football before used to be really bad in terms of position, in terms of leaders. But what I'm seeing right now, because we're trying to create a difference and also to ensure what what people used to suffer for before it's not going to happen. So ensure we are pushing into this position, because if you yourself you cannot be part of the change, then who else will be? If you want to be part of this change, if you want to make this SDG tournament work, then who is there to make this work? So if you're there to, if all of us from all I've had, ever had people really want to make this change. So if you want to make this change, please be part of the change, so that next time you're having such a question, we'd all agree football is changing. Yeah, and I'm so glad I was part of the last tournament we had in Siaya. The girls really had an amazing time. I'm sorry about the last part which happened. Peter, you know about it. But all in all, it was amazing, and I'm looking forward also to having an interactive session as such. Thank you.
There we go. I'm glad you did find time to join us today, Susie. Who else want to give this a go? Because this is really, really critical. And we just have to we see problems and we have to address it. Godwin, go for it then.
Thank you, Peter. For me, I will say that in Kenya, we were to host, both Kenya and Uganda, we were to host the CHAN, and we were not able to do this because of our stadium or football infrastructure. And that is show us where we are as a country, as a side of Africa, because in East Africa, we were not able to host the CHAN tournament because the FIFA personnel came and disqualified us from, hosting it, because we are not at par with the standard. So it shows us when it came to international level, we were not yet ripe, and so we should be, increasing our standards. Thank you for that.
I was struggling in there to hear Godwin, but he's trying to talk to us a little bit about the CHAN and whatever it entails. So anyone, I'm let me pick the last person who is coming on camera to give it the last go. Do you think we are doing well in terms of bringing or nurturing talent? Sylvester, do you want to go for it? Unmute and go for it, Sylvester. Unmute, Sylvester, and just dive in.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
To me, I think we are on the right track currently. Immediately after the elections which we had for the federation, things are likely to change. Previously, we've not been doing very well, but currently, I think we are on the right track. I want to echo and I say that the FKF, the current regime, is really trying their best. Not fully, but at least they're trying their best. So given time, I think more changes will come along. As for the global youth, whatever is being happening is very good. If the local federations can be involved, I think this venture can go a long way rather than just centralizing it in Nairobi. I'm happy to see that we have a vice chairperson FKF from Turkana. That means the football is going up and beyond. I really wish to see somebody from Wajir, somebody from Mandera, somebody from Moyale, and also us here in Kirinyaga. We are going to do well, and also we would like to be given an opportunity to participate well, and also showcase what we have talents in a grassroots level. Thank you.
There we go, Sylvester. Thank you so much for highlighting that. Let's have the last person. Alex, dive in. Alex, if you can have your camera on and just speak to us, Alex, go for it. Unmute, Alex, if you like.
Yes, hello guys. There is something wrong with my camera. Okay, my name is Alex Kimani. I'm a mindskills coach. I'm a mindskills coach. I have a team by the name Kibagari Academy. Okay, thanks for this chance to respond to your question on how well is football in Kenya. I will say no, not much. I will say so much effort is needed to bring Kenya football in a good condition, because I think it is going in a very bad direction. Because how can you bench unaweza kaje bench like a scorer, like in the ladies, the Harambee Starlets, our coach did something very did a mistake there, and he actually put a player on a bench who is a very good in football, and I think yeah, that shows how much football is not taken serious in Kenya. So yeah, I will say no, not much effort is
All right.
done. Yes, thank
All
you.
right. Okay, cool, Alex. Thank you for sharing that. So before I bring that slide back, and initially we started by recruiting ambassadors for this particular program. And we went out with the ambassadors, and ambassadors started speaking to people. And that's why you guys are all in here today. Maybe one or ambassador or maybe something online got you here. But let me welcome Sharon. Sharon was one of our ambassadors, and I just love to hear her experience when she was going out, speaking to teams, trying to get them on board. Sharon, how was your experience with that? Anything you learned? Any thought that came across you as you were speaking to people on the ground?
Hello, guys.
All right.
I'm
I
Sharon,
don't,
and okay. Hi, mnanisikia?
yeah, carry on, Sharon.
So
Yeah, carry
I
on.
just want to share my experience during the mobilization. It wasn't easy, and I was assigned to Elgeyo Marakwet, Makiwa in Homa Bay. So I didn't know what to do at first, but I used the social media influence to reach out to people. So I came across a couple of
All right. Sharon, I'm struggling right there. I will come back to you later. So
individuals.
wait.
And,
Sharon, I'm struggling with you. I will come back to you later, and then you can have bigger chances to speak. So when you settle down, a quiet place, really settle to talk to us, I will come back to you and just let us know when you are settled down there. But I will tell you this for a fact. It has not been easy to get people to buy in if we did not have probably the data or something to showcase. Because some of them were telling me that people are calling them scammers, people are not trusting this information. And for you who made it here, I'm glad you did. But look at these statistics. I was doing a research before I came onto this call, and in relation to what is on there. Currently, the FKF incoming team, they did like an audit, and there is a debt of approximately 400 million. And you guys, we can share this with you on the group, so you guys can start reading around that. So if we have 400 million debt in the football space, what will we do to nurture local talents? Will we pay debt, or will we start talking about nurturing talents? Lately, there was a meeting that was held to discuss how the grassroots football can be brought up. And I know there is really, really solid grassroots talents that needs to be uplifted. And there is an award of, say, 1 million Kenya shillings to go to the best FKF. So what systems, if you are just trying to think, what systems do we think we need to have in place for us to bring these talents to limelight? Getting me back to this story that brought us here today, I want you to start thinking of that particular ball, this one here. It's always my favorite ball, and I use it up to date. In 2023, I went to a schools tournament, and I used to carry my ball, not that one, like a proper football. I carry a proper football when I go to these matches, just in case. So I did carry my ball, and when I got there, there was a stoppage on the matches because the teachers who came with the ball were taking their ball, and then they did not want their ball to be used by other schools. Maybe because they were going to steal the ball and all sorts of chaos. So somebody approached me and said, "Can you lend us our ball so they can use my ball for the tournament?" And I'm like, an entire school tournament is lacking a ball, and they are asking a stranger to give them a ball. How then are we going to work towards nurturing talent if we can't even get a ball? Now, here then comes the inter-county football for the goals. Look, In 2022, I spoke to 948 students in the rural community in Seah County. Only one of them at least could define what an SDG is. So as much as we are looking to speak about SDGs, people don't know about them, but they know about a ball. How can we get them to start thinking around this football or the things we are looking to do, or the more information about SDGs so that they can champion it in their own local communities? This is now the breakdown of football for the goals. Now, starting while back in 2015, this is the overall idea. How we came up with the 34 teams, 17 male and 17 female. So we are aiming to have 34 teams, male and female. From the first 17 counties, we will do another 17 counties, and then we do the remaining 13 counties. But before these teams come, we want to start thinking about how can these teams be supported to stand on their own feet. An example in the award proposed by the current chair is giving a award of 100,000 Kenya shillings to the champions for a league or local league. But I want you to think, if you have 20 players in a team and you play like a whole year or a whole 6 months and you are given 100,000, how much does each of you earn? It's just 5,000. But imagine if all these grassroots teams can be empowered to write their own proposals, get capacity building, and be empowered to initiate community projects that can generate income for them. Now, that is the Football for the Goals Championship that we are building. Get teams from each counties, get them to start thinking about an SDG project, find 17 or more partners to partner with these teams, and together, when they implement their projects, they can actually deliver an impact in the community. An example, you have 20 players in a team, some of them have farms, some of them have got like land, and all sorts of things that they can use. How can they collaborate to capitalize on what they have to grow themselves rather than rely on handouts from 1 or 2, 3 people who, once they are given handouts, then they are used for short-term gains and things like that. So in a summary, Football for the Goals or Inter-County Football for the Goals Championship aims to get grassroots teams to gather together, think of a community project that can deliver an impact. The impact will be twofold: either create jobs for their communities or start a business for their communities where they can earn income, and in our case, eradicate poverty and help people thrive in their own way. So the components of this tournament is this. It is a 7-a-side football tournament, and it is going to run between 2025, 2026, and 2027. And when we get to 2028, the top 3 teams from each year will move to the national competition, where we will have a number of selected teams to champion for the national championship. And now we've had ambassadors who now we want to work with to probably guide, work with the local teams and build forward. And these teams, like let's say if we have 2 ladies teams from Turkana or 2 ladies team from Kirinyaga or Kiambu, they all come together and develop an SDG project. And our bigger aim is to work with these teams long term, so that in the long way, they can actually be running their own leagues, own tournaments to raise their own resources, to take their initiatives to the next level. And we want to do annual tournaments every single year during the World's Football Day. So you look at this is the breakdown of how the tournament will happen until we get to 2028. And it excites me and my team at Global Youth Forum. I know Justin is there, I know Rose is there, and I know other members have just missed. But it is so exciting. In fact, the one we did last year, Justin, was that correct? Was really exciting. Yeah. So now you look at 2025, we are going back to Nairobi again. 2026, we will be in Mombasa. 2027, we go back to Siaya. And then in 2028, we have a roundup. And then now we scale up to say East Africa, go to Africa, now have the model across the globe. And for every goal scored during our tournament, we aim to plant a fruit tree. Pure outcome. You can imagine if we plant, say, 2,000 banana trees, we can be feeding communities and generating income to like support communities and even support teams get through. So with that, I've talked about the short term, what we are looking to do this year. The midterm is we get all the counties to have taken part in the tournament. And then the long term is like get the world to start sending us or like talk about the United Nations member states, all of them sending us a team to our national Football for the Goals Championship. And then we have a global, like let's say we host a global charity tournament where we just host that tournament, raise resources to support the local teams to implement their SDG programs. So this is just the breakdown of the calendar for this particular event. We seem to be on track, but we might just be off track. I know Justin is keeping his eyes on, just to see if we are off track. I will introduce Justin shortly. But in January, we set the working parties, and it is still work in progress. February, we are mobilizing teams, and now we are starting now to get into the member state, like partners and people who can support us. And then in March, we will be selecting teams. So after this, at the end of this presentation, there is a challenge for all the teams, selection challenge. In April, we might do a fundraising event or like just a draw to familiarize ourselves with teams, get them to at least learn how to mobilize resources and just do their things. In May, we host the tournament. And in June, we have a capacity building where now teams will have come up with something. How then do we support them to bring that to fruition? And this is just the statistics, really, really quick. We invited volunteers, 204 people expressed interest, and there is where we got our 17 volunteers. At this stage, we have 155 teams that have expressed interest. We will narrow that down to 34, or even less if you see what I mean. But that is how far we've come since we started this year. But that is now what we are looking at. 34 teams, 17 counties, and involving partners to help us. So if I pause here for a second, Justin, do you have something to add, just in case I forgot something? But first, Justin is the Sports for SDG coordinator at Global Youth Forum. So let me welcome Justin to also say a word or two.
Thank you so much, Peter. You have really explained well, and I think the members are at least they have the gist of what we are doing. But in addition to what we have said, normally our tournaments we carry out, we aim to empower these local communities to get the teams empowered and get the football funds. Why can't we have local teams like the Arsenal of England, the Manchester of England, the Paris of France? That's what we aim. Teams which can empower people, where people can earn an income, where people can promote employment opportunities to their communities. And that's why we aim to start first with Kenya as we move forward to Africa. And this thing is not more of stories, or you may ask yourself, have you ever carried out these activities before, or this is the first time? No. As Peter mentioned earlier, we have carried out for the last 9 years, and recently the last on 6th of April 2024, where we carried out football to mark the International Day for Development of Peace and Sustainable Communities. And that event, we had 17 teams. That's 9 male and 8 female. From there, we got it was around 53 goals. And in the 53 goals, we aim to plant 3 fruit trees, as Peter has said. Why do we plant trees or fruit trees? We aim to empower these communities in matters of environment, to conserve our environment. That's why we carry out planting of trees. We don't carry out a tournament just for the sake of having a tournament, because everyone can have a tournament. Yes, you can have a tournament, carry it out, and the next year you carry it out. But what is the impact that you are creating? That's what we are asking, because we see so many tournaments being carried out. But what is the impact of this tournament? What is the end goal of this tournament? And that's what we are asking. So that's why we call you upon. Let's create an impact. Let's have an end goal which we aim to achieve. And that's what GYF is more focused into. Thank you.
There we go. You've heard it from the big man himself. So that is Justin. He loves football and he does a lot of stuff over here at Global Youth Forum. So again, thank you, Justin, for sharing that. It highlights a bit about what is going on. Are we really having the impact that we do want to make, or are we just hosting these tournaments? So that is just one of the things we did last year and what we've been building on. And we are aiming to have like a national shield, where when we get to national, the person or the male and the female team that takes that up, I'm sure you guys will be excited, and I'm sure it can help you build your profile in terms of reaching out to funders, reaching out to people who want to support your grassroots football and stuff. It will uplift the work you do. But this is now the second phase of this particular tournament. So it is a whole year tournament. We're not just coming to play in May and then we run away. It is like a whole year. So we start from January, we go up to December, and again we start again. Again, January to December. So it is a long-term initiative that we aim to actually work with the grassroots teams to build forward and to ensure that communities can stand alone and they can have something of their own that they look forward to. Where selection is transparent, we are open, and we are incorporating ideas from the grassroots people. And not just coming, sitting in a boardroom and saying, oh, we have selected teams. We can show the teams that we select, how we selected them, and how they made it. Very transparent with a clear structure and no favoritism or something like that. So this is the breakdown from July up to December, where now we celebrate all our volunteers, the teams, and everybody during the International Volunteers Day. We give awards, recognitions, and we celebrate everybody. And the selected teams from first round, that is up to 2027, if each county gives us those two teams, the two teams will be responsible to guide other teams in their local counties to host their local tournaments. And through that, when they host their local tournament, we can establish county championship. You can call it the elimination championship, where the two teams that emerge from that county, they get to the national competition. So looking beyond 2029, after we finish this year's tournament, what do we want to do actually? Establish county-specific championship, where Turkana can have their own specific initiative. They host their tournament and they send their two teams. Then two winning teams get to national, and then we go to East Africa. We ask countries in East Africa to do the same tournament and send us two teams until we get to all the member states to be part of this. Because Football for the Goals is a global initiative, and we want to mobilize everyone, ensuring no one is left behind towards this particular initiative that we are all building. So looking at the 2025 qualification challenge, which I'm yet to give, I will pause there and ask people to throw in questions now, because I know a number of questions have been sent our way and people have been asking a lot of things. So let me open the floor for questions before we give you the challenge that you will be excited about. Question time, my friends. So you just lift your hand up if you have a team and you just ask it and we'll respond to it. Godwin, you have a question, right?
Yeah, sure. I have a question. My friend coach, I registered on behalf of my team because they, so my friend coach was asking me, what's the age bracket of the players of? That was my question. What's the age bracket or the limit of the age?
Okay. Age bracket is anyone who is above 18 years to 35 years old. That's a youth. As described in the Kenyan Constitution. Yeah.
There you have an answer, Godwin. Yeah. So, guys, ask all your questions now, so that when you go out there as ambassadors for all this program, you are able to tell people, you are able to guide, and you are able to show them that you took part on this and you know what is happening. So feel free to ask your questions. Sylvester, are you going for a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, teams registered online, and for participation, teams need to know which teams qualified. So, which modalities are going to use to select the teams which applied to participate in the tournament. And another question which I had was, this tournament, is it going to be based locally, or teams will have to travel to maybe specific venues to participate? Or is it within a region? Is it within a county? Is it anomaly? So that now maybe if my team qualifies, I'm supposed to prepare myself to go to Turkana. Thank you.
Okay. Justin, do you want to give the first one or respond to any of them?
Yes, I can respond to the two questions. Number one, if I had your question clearly, you asked what are the modalities we are using to select. As Peter mentioned earlier, our process will be transparent, fair, whereby we involve all football teams in selection, all the members, all the volunteers, so it will be a transparent process. We don't have the exact criteria which we are using, but we have the set standard as GYF which we use to select football teams. And if your team qualifies all the set standards, then you get a chance. Question number two, you asked if your team qualifies, can it travel to regional and so on. First, Peter said that the first one will take place in Nairobi. So your team, if it's participating in this coming tournament, you have to travel to Nairobi. And if you want to participate in the next, that's 2026, you have to travel to Mombasa, and so on and so on. So we have one central place, because if we encourage every team to carry out their counties, we could not have achieved our objective. We have to bring these teams together, carry out the tournament as individuals together to get the champions of this 2025, 2026, and 2027, and so on. So you have to travel. Maybe Peter, you can add if something.
Yeah. Let me add something there as well. So, like, let's say if you look at Mombasa Sylvester, we've looked at the counties that are closer to Mombasa, and that's how we've mapped out the 17. And then when we look at Nairobi, we were looking at the counties just closer to Nairobi, and that's how we've mapped that. And then when you go to Siaya, you look at the counties within the western part, and that's how we've mapped that. So in a way, and I know Susan is there. Susan, they had to travel all the way from Nairobi to Siaya County. So Susan, do you want to dive right in and say what you guys did? Really, really quick. Just to paint a picture, you can unmute.
Sure. It's about the interest. So no matter where you're called, you have to show up, because if your goal as an organization, your goal as a team is to ensure you guys benefit from it. When you get this chance, just go for it. It doesn't matter what it takes. Also, look at it in this way. If people understand, if it's from Nairobi to Siaya, that's a long distance, and maybe your finances are not that well, please don't hesitate to call in for support. But so long as the ideal, at the end of it all, the goals is to ensure it's your team who's benefits. Because as for this, for me, it's something that is for everyone, not necessarily as a player or as a coach. It's for anyone who's has interest in sports but cannot be in the playing sport but love sports in general. So I understand those people are asking about distance. Yeah, it's far, but these are some of the sacrifices we need to make along the way if you really want to achieve something. Yeah.
There we go. Susan, I've just given you some tips on how these things work. So we want you to like put in the work. We want you to start imagine Nairobi County just giving us 2 teams. There is so many people we can mobilize to support you. Turkana, just 2 teams. So it is the mentality and the attitude we want to ensure that we get that right. And the thing that we want to pass on is like that mentality of us coming together, and we can actually do something to build on. And then Sylvester, your question on the selection challenge, it is on my next slide, by the way. You will see it. It will come just now. So when you dive onto that challenge, I know Susan and the team that took part last year, we did a lot of work and they had to submit a lot of stuff. So we'll do the same this year, but only with like a different approach, just to ensure that people actually know what they are looking to do and what they are looking to come and do when they come to play for this tournament. So anyone with anything else or any question before I bring the next one?
Please let me ask a question.
Yeah, go for it.
If you look at, let me just use my community. What normally we do with S4Ds is try to grow these young footballers who are not yet at that level, your level, Raju, that is. And if you, the last time we participated, I had minors, and I remember we had to sign waivers and parent consent. And from what I'm getting today from this meeting is that the age bracket is 18 and 35. What will happen to a team that has, for example, my team, if we get to qualify and have these young kids, because these are the people I want them to benefit from all these S4Ds. It's not that I don't have the older people, but the aim of us doing carry on with S4Ds, we go for zero hunger and gender equality. And if you look at our programs, the main beneficiary or the age bracket that gets to these benefits, they're these young girls coming in, because what you're trying to cover up is the gap between if you look at Kenyan football, there's a big gap in women's football. So what we're trying to do is to maneuver with these young ones to ensure by the time maybe someone wants to play in a different level, by the time anyone wants to engage in football in a different level, there's that gap coverage, you've already done with it. So what happens to a team that has minors?
Sue, simple and it might be simple and painful to be honest, but for this time, we are just like keeping it 18 to 35. So I will just say this time, 18 to 35, and then it will save us a lot of stuff based on the challenges we had and few other things. So in a way, you can just trying to start thinking, how well can I use my older team to inspire the younger teams? So probably bringing, yes, the little ones to come and have a look at how the older ones are playing. And Sue, this is another something that is solid you might want to consider. Like we are only focusing on 18 to 35. How about Kahawa coming and saying, well, my preliminary championship to support my team, I want to organize a small championship led by my small team or younger people to bring the bigger team to the championship. So it's just a matter of how we think and go around it. And I hope that helps in a way. What do you think?
Sure, that's a way to tackle it. That's one of the ways to tackle it. It's okay.
Cool. Justin, is your hand up? Yeah, cool.
Yes, I wanted to add something to what just as when you look at some of the rules and regulations in Kenya, they might limit those below 18 years. Like, for example, if we say let a team, each and every individual, to take a video challenge, a 17-year-old kid cannot take a challenge because there are laws which govern these individuals without permission of the parents. And so when you look at these rules and regulations, it might limit us from getting from 0 to 17. But moving forward, that's one thing which we have to focus on to ensure we get the rules right, we get the regulations right, so that we can see what are the standards which we have to set in order to ensure we don't violate the regulations which are set. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Justin, for telling us the rules and the laws of child protection and all that. I know Susan team and people who deal with young people actually can attest to this one, child protection and all that. I'm glad you brought that up. So let us dive more into the final bit of it. And this is my exciting part, to be honest. I could be sitting here and then I'm like, this is my favorite, my friends. So it is the selection challenge. Now, Sylvester did ask, how will we select people? Now, you have all the time to do this particular challenge. And what this challenge will do for you, it will help you, in a way, spread the work you are doing, connect with people, and start thinking, what exactly do I need to do as a team leader to bring my dream with my team to fruition? So all you have to do, record a 2 minutes video. You can do it with your team or anyone you like. Be creative as you like. Just 2 minutes. Be brief and be clear. So you have to say your team name, the county your team is looking to represent. We don't mind if even all the teams come from Nairobi County, because meaning they're the team that is interested. An example, other people will be like, well, you are discriminating or doing this one. Do the work and get in. That is the rule of the game. 2 minutes video, post it on your social media, and then use the hashtags. Number 1 and 2, they are bold ones, are key ones, and you can add those two. So part 1 of the video, I will share this on the group. If you guys are not on WhatsApp, Justin will be dealing with that shortly. Justin, you can put the link for the WhatsApp on the chat if you like. But tell us the name of your team, the county you wish to represent, the SDG your team is advocating for. And if you are selected for this tournament, which county you are looking to represent and why you should be selected for this tournament. And then part 2 can be challenging, but think around it. We want you to paint a picture of how a situation is in your county. Like, let's say if you are talking about poverty, child abuse, hunger, or sanitation or something, how is that situation like? And if your team is supported, how will you or how will change look like when we come to evaluate the project that your team is doing? And how you submit it, post it, write anything you like, but use those hashtags over there so we can track and guide you or get you to the next selection group. I will post there and ask if anybody has any question. Any question on the challenge? Because it is the selection challenge. Sylvester, are we okay with it? I see you are coming on camera to like it.
Yeah. First of all, I think it's a straightforward now. That is one model of how I'm going to get my team to be selected, depending on what I'll present. If it will pass through the threshold which the selection panel will be using to gauge the teams which qualifies to be registered in the tournament. That is very good. I think it's straightforward now. Just need to know, teams need to know on what to do, because previously the reason why I asked that question, it is football, and there are always very many ways of how to be qualified in a football tournament. But on this one now, at least it is how you present yourself to the panel with what you're doing, which will make you to be chosen among the teams or not. So to me, I think it's very clear now.
Okay, good one. I'm glad we answered that. Anyone else with any question that you love to throw to our attention that we need to address before we just wind up? I think we might just go extra by 5 minutes.
I had a question. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go for it, please.
Thank you. May is not that far away, and considering some teams coming from Turkana this far, I think we will appreciate a clarity on if there is any other support that teams can get. And this is very important, being first timer, to really even help us in the process to fundraise and to have all that we need before that time comes in the event that we get selected to participate in this. So we just want to have a rough idea of any other logistical support, or if this is something that we need to start working around it as a team so that we are not left out of this by last-minute logistical challenge.
All right. Good one there, Bridan. I will say, yes, I will just give you, like, if you made it to this call and you actually really want to be part of it, I'd love for you to start thinking. An example, if you are coming from Turkana, what if there is no one to support me in terms of transport and in terms of accommodation, and I only need to find 10 teams? What can I do with my team to start preparing myself such that when the time comes, we are ready? Because why I say that, Brizan, we want to get this mentality of somebody will come outside and save us. While in real sense, we come from local communities where we can mobilize our resources. I'm glad you brought the idea to be supported, to resource mobilize. There are many ways we can work together to resource mobilize within the county. Just imagine 2 teams from Turkana. I'm sure that we can figure something out to work with you, guide you, do introduction letters, give you the support letters that you need once you get selected. You can host even your small league to raise money. So once a team is selected, we promise that we will work hand in hand with you to mobilize resources, but you will have to drive it. But for now, I will say, put everything on your side and say, we want to make it, whether somebody comes to support us or not. But these are our strategies that we think if we use can help us to raise resources. An example, the Ministry of Sports, the local businesses who can support what you do, but it will first depend on the quality of the content you create, such that when somebody sees it, they see that, oh, this team really needs support. And we want you to start just thinking around that, Breeze. I'm not sure if that helped in a way.
No, that is very important, and really thank you so much. I really appreciate the fact that this process has to be owned by the teams, and it only becomes sustainable when we own this process and not expecting external support from other people. I really like that idea, and it's something that we will start working on as a team in readiness, even as we do our application and meet all the criteria or on the side, we need to start internal fundraising strategies for this. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that's really good one and very important because, like, let's say, Brizan, your team is selected to now lead Turkana County. And your team is the first team that is complaining and crying and stuff. We want to empower the first 2 teams that we work with across all the 47 counties, even in writing grants, even. We want you just to be able to stand alone and not give handouts for the sake of these handouts and stuff. So that is our end in mind in relation to this particular initiative. I'm glad you brought that up. Finally, do we have anyone with anything before I bring the last one up? All right. So with that then, friends, I think we were just on there and you guys must have said a lot of stuff. So this is my final one. And again, I'll bring Justin back to just say something. The teams and the players can be very talented. But if these talented individuals are sitting there waiting for handouts and waiting for something to come like manna from heaven, we just need to be straightforward with people and say, look, my friend, you are really talented, but there is more that is needed than just talents. So we need to start nurturing and insisting of the attitude of these young people. You have to put in the work to get something out. We know they play really well. We know they want to go somewhere, but talent alone will take you nowhere. There is life skills, there is cooperation, there is teamwork, there is a bit of communication, there is a bit of partnership and collaboration that we all need to get to where we want. And once that mentality is instilled in these young people, the people we work with, then I'm telling you, we'll go places. And we want this initiative to be owned by the people. And this is the teams at the grassroots. If the team qualifies and we see they have a good initiative, nobody will influence us. We will go for the teams we want and we will work with them long term. And we want to link you to the right people and people who believe in what you guys are doing. So with that, this is my final quote. Talent won't get you anywhere if you don't work for it. Talent won't get you anywhere if you have no heart. Talent is nothing if you have no guts. I appreciate you for all joining us today. Unless, Justin, you have got something else or any other member who got something new to add before we just end it. Justin?
Okay, thank you, Peter. Thank you, everyone who joined today's call. We don't take your commitment and time for granted. We wish you all the best. Now let's go on and take the challenge. In any case, you face the challenge, reach out to Peter or me, and I've shared the link via the chat box. You can join so that you can get information on how the tournament is going on and any other information relevant to the tournament. Thank you and all the best.